Who to be conscious?
Them will try everything,
Everything, yeah.
just to hold you down.
Just to hold it down.
Down, 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 down. Soldier,
Rockers.
we are warriors. The system can't hold us down. We are warriors. Chop out the chains, we're free to move around. We are warriors. Never blind to the games they play, so we're doing everything one way, Yahweh. We are warriors. Jah love, we come to take the town. We are warriors. Every soul this train is freedom bound. We are warriors. Reggae music, the sound of sounds. Nothing can break us down, down, down. We are warriors. Positive vibration we send to every nation all across creation. Yeah, yeah. No matter the place I rock your patient, it can go reach you. So free up your meditation. Yeah.
Alright.
We wanna see all those who suffer from poverty live a better life. Yeah, true, true. We're gonna fight this war until it's over. 'Cause I are the real warriors, warriors. Yeah. We are warriors. The system can't hold us down. We are warriors. Chop out the chains, we're free to move around. We are warriors. Never blind to the games they play, so we're doing everything one way, Yahweh. We are warriors. Jah love, we come to take the town. We are warriors. Every soul this train is freedom bound. We are warriors. Reggae music, the sound of sounds. Nothing can break us down, down, down. We are warriors.
Break us down, they can't break us down. Break us down, they can't break us down.
No.
Break us down, they can't break us down. Break us down, they can't break us down. Family, I want you talk to them. Alright. Aye.
Soldier.
Can't understand, we gonna make it. They got to face it. Stay on the battlefield, we gonna take it. And we won't stand by complacent, living adjacent to Babylon's wicked displacement. No way. Chanting with the fire, burning bars of steel. Till the letter brother Buju out of jail. No. If you not see it first, then you're gonna feel that we are warriors for real.
We are warriors. The system can't hold us down.
We are warriors.
Chop out the chains, we're free to move around.
We are warriors.
Never blind to the games they play, so we're doing everything one way, Yahweh. We are warriors. Jah love, we come to take the town.
We are warriors.
Every soul this train is freedom bound.
We are warriors.
Reggae music, the sound of sounds. Nothing can break us down, down, down. We are warriors.
Yeah. Marvel heritage. Soldier. Yo, Bobby Lee, me I tell you, no. Alright. I went some word over there. Warriors will say. Hey, you now. Who to be conscious? Rockers.
He had a good shot. Green weaving, trying to get the shot up. No call that way. Curry flings it the other way. And he got it for the first time in 40 years. This is a fan base that's been loyal, been dedicated, been waiting.
Nothing a Rasta fight. She go fight. I'm so we funny nowadays. I'm so we one on one. One on one make two, and I will never make you blue. If you be true, and I would never turn my back on you. And I would never make you blue, and I would say, wow, baby. I'm so we funny nowadays. So we funny. I'm so we funny, so we day. That's one unity. Shall love us so we funny. Now love us so we stay. Cause if it's not love this day, then it is our stay. Out of love it is our failure. And so we're running our way. To get that's how we stay. And so we're
Baby, I'm still waiting outside here. I'm still waiting. Oh, no. I'm still waiting. Baby, I'm still waiting. Oh, no, baby. Give me, oh, give me your sweet love. Oh, sit on my feet, won't keep me up anymore. And every little beat my heart beat, girl. I'm at your door. And I just want to love you. And I never gonna hurt you, girl. No, I won't. Why won't you come to me, baby? Cause I'm under your spell. Won't you let me go? Why, girl? Oh, why, girl? Oh, me. Oh my gosh, the rain is falling, and I just can't keep on calling. Oh, and I just can't tell the raindrop from my teardrops, baby, falling down my face. Can't you see I'm under your spell, baby? Yeah, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting, baby. I'm still waiting. I wait in the rain, and I wait in the sun. Is it really raindrops? Oh, baby, or is it my teardrop falling on my face? Oh, baby, pain, oh, pain, baby, I don't mind waiting for you, only if I know you're gonna come to me. I wouldn't do this for anybody else but you. Call that pretty smile you have on your face. I'd do almost anything for you, just to get your sweet love, baby. That's why I'm out here in the rain, waiting so patiently for your love. Tell me what's wrong, what's wrong. Tell me what's wrong, yeah. Tell me what's wrong, what's wrong. Tell me what's wrong. Ooh, hear my cry, oh God. That is higher than I. There must be a shelter. Tell me what's wrong, what's wrong. Tell me what's wrong. Why won't you please tell me what's wrong, what's wrong. Tell me what's wrong. Oh God, go on, my God. Darling, will I see thee? Man of floaty or vanity, yeah. Those I did in your life. Oh God of my salvation and my glory, the rock of my strength. Tell me what's wrong, what's wrong. Tell me what's wrong. Why won't you tell me what's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. Oh God, my salvation and my glory, the rock of my strength. Lead out to the rocks that is higher than I. I just can't figure out, oh no, how it comes about. I tried to find out, oh yeah, if you let me try. You got to learn to tell me that you found someone else. Little girl, can't you say, what you doing to me? can't figure out, oh no, what I'm trying to do next. You always wanted just to see me cry. You got to learn to tell me, oh yeah, that you will find someone else. Little girl, I ain't never lied, but I try to live my life over again, yeah, again. Ooh, you got to learn to invite me, oh yeah, to tell me how much you found someone else. Little girl, but I ain't never cried, but I try to live my life again. Oh, again. I just can't figure out how it comes about. I try to find out, oh yeah, if you let me try. I just can't figure out, oh no. I try to find out, oh Lord, if only you let me try. I just can't figure out. Come on, Dad. When you hold me, girl, hold me strong. When you squeeze me, girl, squeeze me long. Oh yeah, never let you down, girl. You will wear my crown, girl. We will never part, so love me with all of your heart. I'm gonna dedicate my whole life loving you. That's not all that I would do. Oh baby, give me all the keys, girl, and I'll be there, girl. This is the start, so love me with all of your heart. When you need my ear, darling, I'll be here to comfort and amuse you. I would give my call as your faithful one.
and man a face tribulation. No opportunity for the youth. No, no, no opportunity for the youth. No, no. Living on free food ticket, man, that ain't easy. Hole in my shoe and the rain come through and it chills me to the bone. Living on free food ticket, man, that ain't easy. Hole in my shoe, let the rain come through and it chills me to the bone.
is fire on the mountain, and nobody seems to be on the run. Oh, there is fire on the mountain top, and no one is running. I wake up in the morning, tell you what I see on my TV screen. I see the blood of an innocent child, and everybody's watching. Now I'm looking out my window, and what do I see? I see an army of a soldier man marching across the street. Yeah. What did it say to make you so blind to your conscience and reason? Could it be love for your country, or for the gun you're using killing? So there is fire on the mountain, and nobody seems to be on the run. Oh, there is fire on the mountain top, and no one is running. Hey, Mr. Loverman, can I get a chance to talk to you? 'Cause you are fooling with a dead man's props, and you don't know what you do. Oh, so little Lucy turned 16, and like the movie she's been seeing, she has a lover in that daddy. She can't tell nobody till she makes the evening news. For there is fire on the mountain, and nobody seems to be on the run. Oh, there is fire on the mountain top, and no one is running. Oh, yes. One day the river will overflow, and there'll be nowhere for us to go, and we will run, run, wishing we had put out the fire. Oh, Lord, for there is fire on the mountain, yeah, yeah, and there is nobody, nobody. Oh, there is fire on the mountain, and no one is running. So yeah, yeah, yeah. There is fire in Africa. Oh, there is fire everywhere in the sea. Yeah, in the air. No one is running.
My story, I was born an unwanted child. Daddy never wanted me, mother barely tried. I hit the streets at a tender age, clothed in ignorance, drenched in rage. No one to talk to, nowhere to go, nothing to eat, nothing on my feet. A miracle happened that turned my life around. Now I'm no longer at the lost and found. Love rescued me, love is sure, that's all I know. I don't need to know anything more. Love is sure, that's all I know. I don't need to know anything more. Oh no,
now I'm having victories. Living is simple, it's no rocket science. Laugh and get dimples, sing and dance. The times are hard, I know they are. Keep those helping hands extending far, because it's so. Love is sure, that's all I know. I don't need to know anything more. Love is sure, that's all I know. I don't need to know anything more. No more. No more. No more. As I walk this road of life, everything is everything. There's peace, there's strife. When I can help someone along the way, that's always for me a perfect day, because you know love is sure, that's all I know. I don't need to know anything more. Love is sure, that's all I know. I don't need to know anything more. Love is sure.
Yes, greetings. We're there with you. We had some difficulties with the sound. the sound deserted me. But love is sure. So Marcia, you know, I mean, we dedicate everything to Marcia. Not the last of the sound, but the songs them that I was playing. Yes, we see that we get some news. A police is charged with murder of Chris Kabar in that shooting 1 year now. When you're on the right side, there's no dodgy moments. As he was. And perseverance is the name of the law. You have to persevere. You persevere in education, you persevere with your own health and your pursuit of developing something. But life is a perseverance. You just have to persevere. You know, if we are serious, you see. So that's why we sing the song that our leaders, our heads, you know, them always tell me to examine the court, examine the legal system. You know, examine the legal system. Go to the magistrate court, go to the central court, go to the Old Bailey, and listen to trials. You know, I deal with theft and murder, but listen to trials and see how these people conduct their affairs, you know? And when we suffer at the hands of the police, the skinheads and so forth, you know, then we can go to court. We should look to go to court for grievous body harm, assault, and battery, and all of these things. You hear them name there? Assault and battery. Wow. See? And these are things that our parents had to endure. And those who came after the war, all the way up. And then people are talking about some glass story again, because we're not transitioning, concerning the carnival. And we should have stopped that, because we never get no justice. The family never got no justice. Them lost them son. He was murdered. And people were brought up to England to give us placebos to pacify the whole situation. And at friend's house was steel band and so forth. And then it got big. More of the place was used. And then the smart people them that come up with this idea of giving us a placebo, instead of saying that they're going to continue the investigation or start an investigation, them took that group of people and parade them around Notting Hill Gate, Westbourne Park and Portobello Road and all of that. And then call different peoples from the immediate community, along with the ambassadors from the Caribbean islands, to listen to what was to be proposed. And there was a lot of people who were excited that they're going to be hearing steel bands and rare. And then there were those who didn't care a damn. But the political structure in this country, they wanted that placebo to be awarded to us, which means that our mouth is open and them give us something that quenched the pain, and it didn't. And people need to understand that there were people who were fighting back. There were people that saying that them not putting up with this nonsense anymore. There were people that had to go to hospitals and places like that to give the nurses and them safe journeys to their homes, to their localities. This was England. And there's an organization and a newspaper in Notting Hill Gate, Grassroots. And Grassroots informed us as to the goings and comings and what was happening and so on. Grassroots also had their own, there were people who aligned themselves with Grassroots and decided that they're going to circle the borough to prevent these hostilities and this grievous body harm and so on. There's a paper. I need to get the I need to extract the photograph from it and put it up on screen, where one of our African sisters, several of them, but one of them in particular, that they were assaulted and beaten up. And one of our sisters was brutalized severely. And that picture and the meetings, the marches and everything that followed really pinned that thing down. But then, in a year or two, the system looked at the people that work for them as well, and the people who are volunteer workers for us, and charged them. So we had now the Metro 9. It's a series of events that took place. Reflection. Oh boy. My brother Courtney is a judge, and he's being requested in Guyana. So I want to get principal and somebody who know how to do this thing here and get a link up. Because you see, where I'm going, it need more voices. Where I started, not where I'm going. It need more voices in relation to a true reflection, as in memory, and some readings from the grassroots newspaper of that time and day. Labrador Grove, Shepherd's Bush. Some serious encounters. What became the carnival should have stopped, according to me and my family. Because, again, there's no justice. There's no justice for the Deptford fire. Also, there's no conclusion for Broadwater Farm. There's no conclusion for the Brixton riot. Causes and effect and police brutality. There's nothing. So there's a lot of things that's happened, a lot of placebos that's being handed out. And then you have all of these smart guys, you know, that are now journalists or they're in the media. And they're saying that, okay, we are making money still from slavery, but what do you lot want? You wasn't there, and all that kind of stuff. So there's a whole dragnet, and that's what I'm saying about transition, because regardless what they're saying, and we transition correctly, we would set our defense and our offense accordingly, adjusting. But we're not working that way. And we should have. We had a Metro 9, and I mentioned first that individuals were employed by the system. They were employed by County Hall, by central government. They were working for central government, some of them. And that was a message to say, even though we employ you, you must not represent, and you're not going to be untouchable, and you must not be representing yourselves as you feel free to do, as you would want to do. You understand? And that sent that was a huge earthquake across this country, because it was telling us something. even though you got qualified, we've employed you in education and social science and so on, you tore our line, not yours. And those brothers and sisters went to court. They were taken to court by the system. And they came from all the surrounding boroughs, right up to Islington, from Labrador Grove. So we've encountered and experienced a lot. And now these people are saying, what do you lot want? Moving from that now, Her Majesty Elizabeth, before whatever was happening with her, only that surrounding bodies knew, but she handed over the Commonwealth to her son, Prince Charles. That's now King Charles. The people them always know what they're doing. Definitely at them control the movements. Yeah. And I'm saying from here, without Courtney and others to reason with, that Wisey was Prince Charles, and we know him going to be King Charles. We should have gone, those of us who knew him, and they would have come to his center and all them something there. It's go get the man and pull him pants leg before him come king. Because when he become king, it can't catch him. See? And we know these things. So what happened? Those people them who favor the Windrush, him got them and award them and everything. Never made it national news, only after the event, okay? The rest, nothing. The Commonwealth came and them show us what is in the pipeline by the parades that they've had. Messianic nonsense. And why is I'm calling it nonsense? There's a reality that they're going to live out, and they've already started. So now our young brothers on the continent have decided them can't take the suffering and the struggles and the exploitation, and they don't want to be like Caribbeans as being servitude slaves. Why is their countries being digged out and everything? There's a lot of holes all over the goddamn place where they're just digging up this and taking up that and so forth. Yes. And these are the French quarters. So you see, even though there's independence, the people them never leave. And like France, them have army bases in the place. And America decided to go and join them at the time of Barack. It just did much more than Bush. And you have Ofcom all about the place, and American bases all about the place, and the extracting of certain minerals and material that they want in their Pentagon research labs to build and advance themselves and nuclear and uranium and such like. So now the French is being told, listen, enough is enough, man. We want our sovereignty, and that's it. And they've had, the French had many options, you know what I mean? Assassinate the people, them, or exile them. And both of those things still on the table, But no, what happened quick? King Charles come on the stage. And something's going to work out equitable for France. Yes. Because one thing Africa don't have, they don't have no defense. No defense at all. You know what I mean? The man them can put on uniform and masquerade with us, with their own selves. But you see, when it comes to the outsiders, that not work. Because you can parade like a soldier, and you can kick up dust with your boots, and you're out of date, even though them still fire bullet. But the Europeans, them, none of them thing fears them. Doesn't. So we don't have no defense. We have the word army, but we have no defense. We have a lot of lives to give up, but we have nothing to defend them lives. And we have nothing to attack if we have to. So this is where Charles now is showing the French diplomacy. Yes, man. Got to know England. See? So in a few weeks, or just before Christmas, everything be normal, back to normal. Normality resumed. Yes. I see they're talking also at the United Nations. You understand? And they will put a lid on that. And one of the things they've been looking at is this relationship and the activities that's taking place there in front of their eyes, left, right, and center, north, east, south, and west, with the aid and support of China. The Western man don't like that. And you have some bogus black man them in the diaspora and women that talk stuff about it. And then they go there to see and find out. And they don't have no friends in politics or in the embassies here. And since they don't go down there, they don't go to the political parties and the government house and have conversations and try to extract exactly not what it looked like, what is actually happening. And you see this little man here, may say to three of them governments that there's a strategy that Margaret Thatcher in the Conservative used with China. And if you can imagine, the Chinese was already in England and something pop up and she shut everything down and said that the British people they must be trained and they must be in management. Because the Chinese had a lot of robots and different things. So they want, Margaret Thatcher insisted that we have some, and which was right, that we have spaces for British employees and training. And there was a stalemate for some time. And then they threw Leyland in there to revamp Leyland. Because that's the only British thing that's there now. The Rolls Royce gone to America. And the Aston Martin the Aston. Is it Aston? There's a damn. There's two car, and one became Honda Accord, and all of that. You understand? And I rate her for that. I rate her and her officers that conducted that. Huh? And that was it. So you had Datsun, all of these cars were here and manufactured here and so forth. And also repaired, and there were people who were taught how to understand and deal with those engines and repair those engines. Yes. You know, we had these conversations, you understand? And then I was shown how up to date the employment forces in these countries, as in Tanzania and Buganda, Uganda, and Rwanda, how up to date they are. So the working relationship, and I have to call it relationship, with China is awesome. Because in those three countries, we're not looked at as laborers. We're up there on all three tiers. It's just the resources. The resources, especially the train, is obviously Chinese. The labor force is joint. The only thing with the Chinese is that they're not about integrating, and we know that. And when I mean integrating, they're about living on reservations. Right? So they take up acres and acres of space, land, and build their own social community. Their own. And put all the provisions that they require within that space, that compound. That's how they operate. So having so much space on the continent and different countries across the continent, you'll find some remarkable landmass that is being not designed but developed by them, for them, and it's then ring fenced. Because unless you're invited there, you can't go in there because that's where them live. And then bring them wives and them girlfriend and whatever. There. And they will come out in our areas, as in Africa, and shop for the amenities that they don't readily have. See? But that's just a token gesture. That's what it is, a token gesture. So when that happened, there's some encountering, shoulder rubbing and all that. And they will go to some place a hotel that have, like tomorrow night, some acts, or a stadium where there are some performances. They will attend some of these things. But these are just token gestures. And that's where the fault is. But then, did they know them? We in the Caribbean, we know them. That's how they operate. That's how they operate. So, we will see the fruits that will be beared by China helping and supporting those who are wise enough and understand that the continent, the land, is theirs. Right? So there's an exchange. And it's early days. But what the West to me is upset about, the linkage with the railways, with the trains. I stripped down barriers. And that's the biggest horizon that the layman can look at and recognize and feel good about. We should go to America and liaise with them and get a lot of our brothers out of those penitentiaries and take them to Africa and get them walk on the roads, the building of roads and the train lines. Because there's hundreds of thousands of them in a jail. And that deputy president of America, she put a lot there. She's been responsible for putting that. But never, I had to say that because she's African. She's black. Yeah. So that's what we should have been, that's what we should do. But the American youth, they have a problem now about black, Negroes, African Americans, all kind of stuff, and Aborigines and this and that, all kind of stuff, and Indians and all of that, taking us back someplace that we weren't. Taking us back someplace that we weren't. And every day and every night is picking up steam, along with the Hebrew, this and that. There's so many things that's coming up that's been given birth to in America right now. And then we are trying to look upon Africa. And it's appalling. It's taking us back. It's taking us somewhere where we weren't. And I tell you, this reflection of mine, I think, is a very good thing, because from you come off the plantation and the fields and everything, and even before, what these people were speaking, we don't know. Number one, we don't know. We didn't know. And then they've taken so much of us from different regions. So we didn't have a commonality. A great deal of people did not have a commonality, only that they were Africans. And I mean a commonality in communicating. But that didn't take long. But then by the time you land and they did their thing, they keep moving us around. So we didn't have that connection. That's one. Two, we weren't allowed to talk. So if there were people who had a commonality, they didn't let it happen. People were brutalized when they felt that I was speaking to somebody or someone was speaking to me, and we have an understanding. It wasn't allowed. So how on earth is people going to start talking about Negroes, black, African, and all this kind of nonsense when none of us could speak comprehensively and understand what the hell these people were talking about, our captives were talking about? So we're talking about years and years of not being able to communicate and furthermore understand what the oppressor is saying. I mean, you can go and watch Roots and get a little bit of understanding of the climax. The climate, not the climax, the climate. I mean, when somebody come and call me Kunta, or not even call me, I'm telling them that my name is Kunta. And the people them find out what I'm telling Principal and various other people. And then the people them flag me and stretch me. Because they don't want me to be saying that. And they will beat one out of me and beat another in me. So I could be what they want. And I could say their word. I must say their word. Have a look. So someone needs to do the research. Not someone, all of us. How long did it take us to comprehend what they were saying? And could we understand how long did it take us to mimic what they were saying and then to understand what they were saying? Because if them say pop, what is pop relating to? See? So we must stop taking this thing with simplicity measures. That's why I use the term, the man says to us, to our grandparents, them, that they were free. What was that meant to mean to us? We don't know nothing about that. That's why most people didn't move and go nowhere. They didn't move and go anywhere. And some of these people shushed them off their place. And when them get up in the morning, the people them still they come back and they're still there. Cause where they going? Come on, let's be sensible here. Where were we going? And the good ones will try to tell us that we're free and try to explain and you can go and everything and so forth. And then some smart asses decided, okay, since they ain't going anywhere, they don't actually understand and so forth, right? We keep them here. And let them do the same thing they were doing before. So slavery did not finish. It didn't finish. It didn't finish. And then you got places like Louisiana and all them places there, America and everything. The plantation then was flourishing. And then one of them president, him have enough people. And they were flourishing. And him had many concubines. Well, I don't know why them call people, when them go with them and sex them and everything, and them they're very close to them call them concubine. Is that because the wife accept them? I don't know. I need to try and find that out. You understand? Because them have the way of coming up with all these names. Huh? You understand? These names. Using these words. And so on. And he had quite a number. And he breeded them, you understand? And then could imagine one of us now, woman have a child, and then take the child and sell the child to somebody else. Yeah. Early too. Child could be out 2 or 3. And them sell it. So I don't know why we're gonna we should be entertaining these people that says, listen, right? It's not our fault that we're still making money. Huh? But what do you want? You weren't there. And that's why I'm saying, when I come on that first station, that we're the children of the slave, because that's what we are. I mean, why would anybody want to turn around and say different? That's what we are. That's true talk and factual realization. We are the children of slaves. How much record do you know about that? See? So, you know, some of you out there said, it's them roots and culture thing, you know. So we don't know about that. We know about Lover's Rock. Shush your mouth about this Lover's Rock. You understand? So, that's what we are. Again, that goes back to that Windrush thing. That take the immigration where the British consulates and everybody went to the Caribbean and selected people to bring to this country to help them rebuild the infrastructure of this country after the second conflict they had with one another. Huh? And then throw the spanner right in the work and mess up the whole something. Huh? That my father, my grandfather, and my father, and my mother, and my uncle, and all of them cannot be recognized for what they did and what their entitlements are. And then we can come all the way back up to those who chose, as in that Windrush, to come here. Because my father, my grandfather, my father, and my grandma did not choose to come here. And I'm not going to sit back and say, oh, you know what, my family was intelligent and everything and feel good with that. No, no. That happened, yes, that's true. But we're not going to celebrate and hoo-ha and hooray and hallelujah. No, they were picked like other people and brought to England to walk here to put this country back, to develop it, redevelop it. Yes. And now we're supposed to be facing them off correctly. But nah, we got some rose breadfruit, coconuts, and all kind of Jim Screechy people because them like the athletics and all this kind of nonsense and the footballs and everything that's going to forget what happened, pretend they don't know, and push their head up their ass and then come back out and say that it's true. What can you do? What can you do? And they give me this cockney nonsense, and that's supposed to suffice the fact that it's too late. Are you mad? There are people who don't come from Palestine. There are people who don't know nothing about Moses or Abraham and everything. And them say that they are Jews. Huh? They come from the Caucasus Mountains of Russia. They're Ashkenazis and they claim, and that's why you got these young black boys them in America, these African Americans, saying that they're Hebrews and blah, blah, blah. And I'm saying, look how stupid this thing look. But then when you go back to 1920s, right, the same thing was happening. The same thing was happening. It's on that in the 20s, they didn't have costumes. But then we have to pick the pieces up, rail down the road, and see what Marcus Garvey was able to do. When Marcus Garvey was doing this thing, it was like a unification of hundreds of thousands of people instead of being sporadically all over the place saying they're this, they're that, and the other, right? They had a central theme. Africans for the Africans, at home and abroad, and all those things. You understand? They saw themselves and they kept recognizing that the Africans, and they needed to be, they want respect and they seek respect and they want education and everything. Because they want to go back home. And that's what Marcus Garvey kept making them understand, you know. It must be a need, a necessity to go home. And from once we do that, we can go back and forth. But the key interest and purpose is to have that burning desire to go home. Because you was forced in that space that you're in. So you got to reconnect. Now, who's talking anything? What create the domicile and all that is this religious thing, this church thing, this Christianity thing. And once the black man got involved in that, we were hook, line, and sink up. Once them get involved in that, because all of a sudden now, they're the ones that was taught by Guana how to read. When reading, he's reading the Bible. He get to know his alphabet. And then he did their master's bidding. And after they had their church, the gathering, they allowed us to have a gathering. Now, the focus, the emphasis on going to Africa, the emphasis on being free and all that, that went stage left. Finish. So now it was just your Sunday clothes. And Jesus is your salvation. And that's where it started and that's where it finished. It still is. You can go to Africa, you can jump on a plane, and then you find some Caucasians them on the plane, and they're missionaries. And if they're not missionaries, they're business people from these countries, going there to repair, to whatever. But by the time you follow them, you find that they're going to a missionary compound, just like the Chinese. The only difference is that the Chinese thing is going to be some miles away from the city or an area. You understand? They're going to be 50 miles or 70 miles out. They're not going to be next door smelling me. No, they're not. They're not in that close proximity. But these missionaries are. And they've got several meeting spots. And then the church and the schools. They have all these provisions. And they're not run down, dilapidated. No. And they offer the children them uniforms and books and everything and make the system that is our system in terms of the political apparatus look terrible because they don't provide such like for us. They don't. The poor families have to try and find some money every bloody month to keep their children in school or to be able to send them children to school and to provide the uniforms. Because some of this, when you get to high school, you have to wear uniform. So lower school, you can just go in there with any tier thing, but you still have to pay. Now, when you look at what is offered on the continent and all these different countries, there are more Christian schools and centers than ours. Them understand where the powerful influences are. So they offers us education. And they extract what it's going to be in the future, the first class, not the working class. That's why when you see some African peoples come here, they're so proficient in the English grammar. And before you blink, they're in Cambridge or Oxford or Eden. But the purpose is of these countries is that they're going to be their leaders for tomorrow. What the hell are we doing? And we are here in England and we know this cycle happens. So why we, as Caribbean people, why we done something about it for ourselves? Why we got institutions? Why ain't we teaching our children? Yeah, we still got some supplementary classes and everything, but I'm sure 2 or 3 of them could have come together, purchase a property, develop a curriculum, and find funds to pay the tutors, the manpower, a respectful salary. Oh, yes. And sing the song like a preacher. That you're doing this for tomorrow's tomorrow, and you're doing this with the blessings of God, offering your people and yourself something. Some that will stick with. Others, it wouldn't. But it's worth doing. Because you know what? The heart belongs to God. And the sentiment is within our nature. And feelings is what we all have. So learn how to touch those sentiments. You will also engage those feelings, and then the spirit within both of us will unite. And the person who we need will now see is justified offering something. So you give your more to receive your less. They're receiving the less from us, but they're getting their more from God. But now, if we get to sit down now with those components that do not like religion and think that religion is the catalyst for causing problems, now we're having an issue because we're going to be speaking for the next 4 years. And that's why one needs to be tactful. Need to be real tactful. And I better employ me or not employ me, engage me before me dead. Serious thing. Because I have the strategy. I don't know about next set of people. Me have the strategy. Yeah? And once me put my strategy on the table with other people, them, we can all extract and develop a working model. That's what is required. And these well-educated people in this country is refusing. Is refusing. And it's important that we have a body that grab people up and shake them up and say, watch her, we have sit back for too long. You don't have no choice. Huh? We'll squeeze it out to you by force. We need that. That's what I said about those groups that was well organized with grassroots and others and their fathers, what they were doing to protect us. And that's the reason why this Notting Hill Gate Carnival thing is still here. And it shouldn't have been. It was brought here because we all got our parents, them, organized themselves and said, listen, we're not going to let this happen to us. Huh? And they were in the faces of the skinhead and the National Front. Ain't showing no fear. And ain't going to allow such atrocities to continue day in, day out. So they were really telling us, we got you back, mate. We sort it out. And that's what happened. They didn't sort nothing out. They made us soft like pap. And then allow us to have long bluesies, shabby shit. And once we got into that, we forget the mission. We forgot the grassroots. Yes, we look forward to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And there should be people that there every day. Like I was telling my brother this morning, him need to know the history. Him need to know the treading of Morris Bishop. And stop letting people poison him, poison your brain. Because it's education him sought after. Because he wanted us to be independent-minded and to develop. And using those little rock lands that we got in the Caribbean, like Cuba, like Castro, and Sheikh Zafar and all them, and develop. And develop. If he was allowed to live, Haiti wouldn't be in the predicament they're in today. And the Caribbean would have been a united Caribbean. But now you start talking all this nonsense about he's a communist. Now, which friend do we have to help the continent? Because we ain't got no gun. Forget the damn stupid things that people are going around with and the boots that them have. That's a joke to the European person, that people them that give them these things before. So we don't have no defense. So we can't attack and we can't prevent anything. We only beat up ourselves. With the boots, we kick our people down and stamp on them. With the gun, we shoot our own people. With the baton, we crack one another back and heads. They can't do that. They wouldn't even attempt to do that to France, tell them to leave and insist they leave, God damn it. They can't do that. They can't even think to do that. Because they don't have. They're not equipped for lightweight or a featherweight. So they can't even go into the heavyweight arena. They can't have heavyweight conversation. We can't have it. And even if we all got together and then they say, boy, you know what happened? There's 70 million talented people who have put their life on the line. We're not even up to that. We have the numbers, but we're not coordinated. When the people that put an onslaught on Libya, where were we? Most of them man, they underneath the bed and them leave and come to England, come to Europe and show the people and say, watch out, we're not going to be against you. As soon as they find out that after that 1 month, every night, England and France and everybody are bombed the glass the place and sending their little mercenaries along with these Libyan groups that they have and show them that they will back them and give them this and that after they depose Gaddafi and all the people that supported him and everything. And that's what happened. Where was the African? Where was us? Where were us? We weren't around. We weren't shouting and screaming and say to the United Nations, no, we can't stand by and let this happen. We didn't send couple hundred of thousands from here, 100,000, and ring fence Libya. We didn't do that. What we did, as soon as these rogues did their thing, we're there upon the journalism saying that the Libyan people them that's there is enslaving and selling black people, selling Africans. Like Libya is not Africa. But that's what was being said. And people were willing to go to Libya then. Nobody was willing to go to Libya and help the Libyans. But everybody want to talk now about the currency that the Libyans were, the united currency that they were bringing for Africa, which the West never want nothing to do with, but what they did, they went in there, mash up the place, and take away the gold. All the resources and everything, the strategy and everything is in their hands now. That's what smart people, bright, intelligent people do. So they grab that and the resources. But before they did that, what did they do? What did they do? They created an artificial orgasm for Gaddafi. Gaddafi looked like he understood because he bought females as his defense and security to England. But Elizabeth is too experienced for this rubbish. And they wine and tea him and everything. And while they were whining and team, they were constructing to dismantle that blasted country. While he was going back in, they were already surrounded the blasted place. That's what happened. If all of you are missing that, then go and get your newspapers and go and get the DVDs and the CDs and everything else and have a look. Or pay a passage and go across the pond and go into United Nations and have a look. Or go down to Victoria and just say to MI5, them here what? I'm a lay person. I'm doing some social science. I'm not a communist. You know what I mean? I want to know how you all strip Libya down and dispose Gaddafi, and why ain't the same thing work with Syria, right? Syria wasn't about developing their own economical structure across that region. Nah. They just said that over the years they had so much problem with Assad, and now you're his son. You understand? We're gonna bust you up, and we're gonna try and get your people to turn on you. We don't want no more Assad family around here. See, so them dismantled Syria, but then the Russians were there, so they couldn't really mash it up the way they wanted to. But it's mashed up. Iran is mashed up. Iraq is mashed up. And that's off the vision of people. Enough nonsense still goes on there, and a lot of people that looking for revenge is still in there. Yes. Then you have to go back another way to history and see how Britain elected a Shah and a king for Iran. But then here I come. Huh? And we said, the people them said, nah, hold on. We're Muslims here. When I'm the king. And we surely don't want the Shah. And then work hard to dismantle that. And once they did that now, America not coming for England and say, no, hold on. We're going to smack this boy. What do you think him is? And then that's what happened. So then I told her how many comes on the scene. And I told her, say, yo, that shit can't happen. So what them do? Them exile his ass. So while he's out there, him at people, he's tutoring. And just to make them brave. And the young people, them, instead of following England and America, the young people, them say, what a for we country this? And the rest of it is history, but the real thing that happened, some young people, them take, some women, girls, females, took bins of shredded paper and put them all back together. Put them all back together and understand what England and America were doing and had planned to do and are going to be executing. That's what happened. And then the revolution take place. But it took place wisely because them demanded their gold bullion and all their assets back. And they wouldn't let go the foreign allies them that was in the country, the ambassadors, this, that, all these diplomats, they wouldn't let them go. Plus, England and America had a lot of students in this country. Like Syria, they wouldn't tell you, England especially, that they had, every semester, they had up at least 25 to 30,000 students studying, young people studying in Syria. Now, if it was so atrocious, what the hell are you doing there? Now, listen, this is not make-believe, you know. I was also there. You understand? And these people weren't studying Islam. You understand? They studied architecture, civil engineers, and so forth, constructing engineers and so forth. You understand? Serious thing. Syria. Because we're talking about knowledge here, you know. And we're not talking about religion. We're not talking about Paul and walking the road of Damascus. No, none of that. You understand? Even though that road was there. It should be, unless them bomb up all of Damascus. Huh? You understand? Serious thing. Right? And then you need to know about reservoir. Right? The Syrians are on top of that. Water irrigation structures. Syria, the Syrians. But no, you don't know that part of history, you know what I mean? You really don't. But anyway, we're gone again, you know, right? Africa.
Africans must be free by the year 1983, when I and I people shall rejoice on the hills of Mount Zion. Africans must be free by the year 1983. We have worked too hard for the white man in the blazing sun. Oh.
Now you see that now? Them words, you need to listen to them words most profoundly. And you see all the young man them in America that comes to their Hebrew and they're reciting, they're mimicking and reciting Yeshua and so forth and so forth. Right? Them need to seek Ethiopia. You understand? But they've also been shown that some of their groups are showing them that they're not Africans. You understand? And them feel proud to say they're not Africans and all of that. Right? But we need to really push and say to them, since you're there and so forth, seek Ethiopia. You know? The same clothes you have on and everything that you're so proud in, just walk from there. Do your hiking and everything and go into Ethiopia. Or since you're so big and boastful, Americans, just jump on one of your planes them and go Ethiopia. And find out what is what. See? And the people them that you're neglecting is the people them that you should be rubbing shoulders with and hugging and then learning. You see? Seriously. And then maybe you would appreciate Jerusalem when you get to find out about Jerusalem. And we're not talking Palestine right now. You understand? There's so much to learn, so much to appreciate. You understand? But if you don't know, there's a time coming very soon, because we're not going to run to an inn. And then you'll be saying, if you did know. You understand? That's the hurtful things about following. About following. And in this day and time of information and easily having access to countries and so forth, I don't see why people want to follow other people. You understand? I can be in an organization or something where there's a leader, a president or something, but I'm not going to be a follower, you know, where somebody say go left and we go left. Nah. Go right, we go right. Jump up and then somebody say, oh, I boss, You understand? And everything. And then somebody want to lick me because me not jump. No. God has given us all faculties and we must use them to the best of our abilities, right? Somebody as a president or a prime minister or something like that leading and so forth, orchestrating something, and a problem joining your party and so forth. Once it's for the upkeep and the development of things. But people just talk and run boat and try to make somebody, some other group feel that they're better than them because of rare, and we wear pink or this. No. It's never been my thing. Monday will come again.
Yeah, it's true to nothing but the truth. Yeah. Oh. Run, revolution a come. Run, revolution a come. Some of them want socialism, some of them want capitalism, some of them want communism. They all want all kind of ism. Run, revolution a come.
Now that's very clear and true, you know. But first, we have books. Make your book be a book of life.
Never you cheat, no backbite. Put a stop to fuss and fight. Let us keep upright and walk the path that is right. And your name will be written in the book of life.
Now, when you turn your face the other way and you wash your hands and everything, down to your feet and so forth, you understand? And then you come and you stand. Huh? You stand. You see? With your mind clear of money, woman, rare, and everything. You give your soul, you connect your soul with the Almighty. And then you ask the Almighty, God, Allah, God, the Supreme One, the unseen, you understand? To bless yourself and to provide, continue to provide all that is, and award you all that, most of what you're asking for. Watch it. Listen.
When we are hungry and have no food to eat, when we are thirsty and there's no water to drink, we won't give up from praising Jah. We never stop praising Jah.
See, when people them is at the lowest, human beings and all these people that say them run government and everything, you understand? There's a surah in the Quran called Surah Al-Mulk. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking, if one morning you wake and you find that there's no water, what will you do? Where would you turn? Where would you turn? All the water gone. What would you do? So similarly, we say, which of the favors, true Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking us, human beings on this earth, which of his favors can we deny? See? But you get some people them that's so headstrong and arrogant. They turn around and say they will deny water. They say, all right then. You sure? I say, what do you mean? I say, okay. Yeah. Right now, you can't leave here. Everywhere you're going, I'm following you. Even if you go bathroom, I follow you. Because you cannot have any water. You say you don't want none. You deny God. So then he or she's brain start working and I say, what was it that you actually said? So you should have listened. This is not the space now to repeat. There's no repeating going on here. You just didn't listen. Pay attention. You've lost your chances. And that's what happens to us. See? And then we met these idiot people them come and telling a story about Noah. Huh? The love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the love of God. I'm going to turn around and make him into a drunk and a high sexual, all this kind of nonsense. And then his son, them, to be laughing at him because he find himself in a precarious manner and everything. And no one is saying, hold on a minute, how could a prophet of God who just did such a marvelous thing now finish up doing such a foolish and hideous act? And then on top of that now, African people are cursed. Our pigmentation is changed and everything. Meaning that white is right and good and dark color is bad. That's how the people them set the thing up. How did they conclude that? Only them can tell we. But then you put God in the arena of all of this and believe man that, and so forth. And then we wonder, how come this racism? How come there's this separatism? How come there's this all this idiotic thing? And then when you look at God now, you think, so wait, God's very confused. So that's why when they put Jesus in the frame, they put what they're supposed to be put into God to this Jesus. Right? So this Jesus now is superior to God because this Jesus they make it seem that he's done everything possible for us. He didn't do nothing wrong. He even gave up his life. Understand? Let man crucify him and and then he comes back to life and sins are meant to dissipate and everything and righteousness stands. And we ain't seen nothing like that in this earth. Where the hell is that? Because if you tell the story of Noah and then you want to tell the story of this Jesus and everything, I have the right to put them on the same plateau, on the same table, on the same tabernacle, on the same member, on the same altar. I have the right to put them everywhere where people are dealing with religious feelings, persuasions. And then you want to justify what the hell it is that you all are trying to portray. And that's why Muhammad is not involved in none of that stuff. None of it. And when I don't try to put him there, because all that nonsense is not there. And I wish people would recognize that. Because when I say evil, and when I don't put him in that bracket, but you took God out of that and create this Jesus thing and put all these fandangos and all the praise supposed to give to God, you're not giving to God. But you want to see you give it to God through this Jesus. Now how messy is that? Why didn't you give something to Noah? No, you demoted Noah. And you took yourself out of that and make yourself superior to other, and that's the people of color. You're superior to them, to us. And people ain't seeing that. I don't understand why. I don't understand why. So, Marcia, we have said don't stay there too long.
Don't stay away too long now, baby. Don't stay away too long now, baby. I remember when we used to walk the streets, hugging each other and kissing each cheek. But now, since you have to go away, there is just one thing I have to say. Don't stay away too long now, baby. Don't stay away too long now, baby. If you
Yes, Mandel, may God have mercy on your soul, man. Seriously, miss you like oxygen. Serious thing. So we have say guidance. We had problems. We did something. We resolved that, but the time that we lost, we couldn't take back. So we have said to you, guidance, we're gone.